meeting to order. Today is June 25th, 2025, Wednesday. It's 6:38 p.m. We are in Early Child Center in Palisades Park. Everyone please stand up for flag salute. Mr. Jimmy, could you address this flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since Mr. Condoms, he's not here, I can do the roll call. So Ms. Soo Chang present, Mr. William Kim, Mr. Anthony Kim, Ms. Rebecca Lee, Mr. Soo Kyung Park,
Here.
Ms. Bo Young Yu,
Here.
Mr. Aaron Bak. I got a call from him that he's going to be late, 10 minutes late. Mr. Jun Lee,
Here.
Mr. Sergio Kai,
Here.
Dr. Joseph Cirillo.
Here.
Bush Loguru also they got stuck in the traffic, so will be here soon. And our student today, Mr. Tyler Chang. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, I hereby state that the notice of this special meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated June 19, 2025. The meeting notice has been emailed to all staff members at the district school locations, communicated to the record, filed with the board clerk of Palisades Park. Now the board will go to the work session to review and discuss the resolutions. So we'll start with committee reports. We'll just go over the committee that has the agenda resolution. So, education, Ms. Soo Kyung Park.
Okay. So we have one agenda to be approved today, which is the comprehensive equity plan 2025 to 2026 school year.
Thank you. Do you have any discussions and questions? If not, let's move to finance. Oh, I'm sorry, not finance. Evaluation Advisory Committee, Mr. William Kim.
We'll be having an annual summary conference for the superintendent in closed session today.
Thank you. Any questions, discussions? If not, let's move on to finance. Ms. Bo Young Yu.
So there are 8 items. Number 1, food service vouchers. 2, approval of bill list for June. 3, approved capital reserve transfer. 4, tuition reimbursement. 5, approved maintenance reserve transfer. 6, renewal contracts. All vendors. Number 7, summer authorization with business administrator. Number 8, reallocation of expenditures in the 2024-2025 budget.
Thank you. So any questions, any discussions in finance? Any questions? Then negotiations, Mr. William Kim, could you read there's any reports?
Just one update, we're waiting for NJSBA's review of the salary guide that was proposed by the BPEA. There's been a change in our field rep, which has caused a slight delay, but we're working on it.
Thank you. Next, personnel committee, Mr. Jun Lim.
There's Consent agenda 9 items for consent. Number 1 is co-curricular position. And number 2 is appointment of staff. Number 3 is acting business administrator. Number 4 is approval of district appointments. And 5 is appointments of summer school ESL summer testing. Number 6 is summer school personnel. And number 7 is summer school ESY personnel. And number 8 is resignation of staff. And 9 is salary adjustment request.
Those are 10
There's a
items.
10. Yeah, 10. This one. It's the separate.
It's now audience participation, please.
Number 10 is board secretary.
I have questions on number 10, the personnel. The appointee, I guess, just basically, what is her, current contract, is going to be what, 3 years, 5 years, a year? Is it set for?
Well, we have to make it the terms, I guess, but we usually start with 1 year.
20 years? Okay. But, this is a full-time, position, correct?
It is full-time position, yes.
And how did we come up with the salary?
In our, meeting after the interview, so board members had made a discussion and then we came up with some salary range. And then,
We came up with some salary range, or was it?
yeah, 60K to 65K. That was for the discussion and you left early.
Yes, I had a big engagement. So, but that doesn't really say how you came up with this range. You just pull it out of a hat? Is it from policy? Is it from records? Like, is it from past history? What is it from?
I would say this is based on the current or previous board secretary when they started as a interim or part-time. And also I researched other district as well too.
Who was the past board secretary? I don't think we had a full-time position of board secretary before. Who was it?
This is full-time.
What did he make?
She wasn't a full-time board secretary, she had,
She was
yeah,
full-time.
she had 3 titles, so it can't be based on her position because she had 3 different positions, so it should not be, salary should not be based upon her position.
Who are you talking to about?
Everybody,
Yeah. We had a thorough conversation and discussion in that meeting, in the project session, but, I don't know how much we can discuss about, but that we mentioned about summer quality and the board's needs of that position. We are not seeking for the, traditional secretary role. We need more than that. And some board member raised concern that she is overqualified. And then, so I think that this salary is, applies to. And the other board secretary also declined to show up and she canceled at the last minute. And I don't know what it was, that it was the reason, but I was asking how much the salary range and then, yeah, it was.
I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there obviously, so I don't know what the discussion was around salary and how this was pinpointed. I just wanna see, that it doesn't seem to be a clear answer of how you came up with this salary. It just seems
But
like.
then,
Everyone, we don't wanna go into too many details in open session. Everyone inputted their own range, and then we came to an
And if
average.
I can add, the salary is a lot less than what.
So everyone that was available that night provided their range and their opinion, and then we took the average.
questions in personnel?
I just want to make one suggestion that I know we said that there would be 10 recommendations. I think number 3 should be tabled as a salary that has yet to be negotiated. And I'll defer to the attorney, but I don't know how you approve a resolution without a salary on it.
Number 3?
Yes.
So,
So we need to negotiate before we pass a resolution.
so, yeah, we can table it later on in the regular session.
Yeah, typically the contract is approved by the county executive before the board acts. But given the language here that it's pending county approval, it's.
I don't think that's the issue. We don't have a dollar amount.
Right, so salary to be determined.
So is it $1 or is it $1 million?
Well, to be determined. So, I mean, it's obviously the board's gonna have to take further action on this item at some.
The county's
subsequent
gonna
time.
ask for a board resolution when I submit it with the contract.
No, they have to approve first.
Not in this case. She's already an employee. She's gonna have an addendum on her original contract as an acting business administrator. That's all this is. It could be 1 month, it could be 6 months, it could be until we find a business administrator full-time.
My recommendation is that it be submitted to the county executive before the board gives its final approval. That's the way I
I
believe.
think we're saying the same thing. I cannot give it to the county superintendent of schools without a salary on it. They will never approve it.
Right.
So we need to table it.
Like I said before, if the board wants to pass this resolution, there's no reason they can't. It doesn't have a salary, it says salary to be determined. I agree with you that they're going to have to take subsequent action to finalize it, once the number has been determined and the county executive superintendent has approved the contract.
So, you think we need to approve first, and you think we have to table it?
If we're going to have to take subsequent action, why don't we table 3 and then figure it out in the next one?
Okay. It's not that urgent thing, right?
We don't have a business administrator. It's not that it's not urgent. Someone has to fill the role.
But if it is TBD at this moment, then we have to anyway have to,
The TBD is only because of the salary.
right,
She's willing to take on the responsibility.
right.
She wants to be paid an appropriate dollar amount that has to be negotiated.
But with this resolution, it can't really go to county anyway.
Correct.
That means we have to make another
Special
meeting
meeting.
to approve just this one agenda.
Correct. Hence, we need to table number 3.
What do you think, other board members?
Okay, then I think we're up to that table, and then, we're gonna have a special meeting. I remember correctly.
Do you have any questions? Personnel? Okay, then we will see with the other committee that doesn't have any report. Do you have unfinished business or new business at this meeting? No? May I have a motion to close the working session and move into regular session?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No abstention, concession. Thank So reports of the board of presidents. Okay, so everyone who works, so I'd like to just thank everyone who works hard this year, and all teachers and parents, everyone. I know the whole year it's been a lot of work for you, and making visit to our monthly meeting, and our superintendent, Dr. Cirillo, and our housing commander and negotiation committee chair, Mr. William Kim, and all other our fellow board members. Thank you for all your work. I know it has been very tough year with the negotiations, but thank you for all your patience, and you guys kept working, and we almost made things work, and thank you again. So we have still a lot of work during the summer, and let's do it, and everyone have a good, great summer. Thank you. Dr. Cirillo?
I too just want to first thank our faculty and staff. I think it was obviously a interesting year to say the least. I think our graduations could not have been more of a culmination of the year. It was wacky weather, to say the least, again. Indoors, outdoors. I'm fortunate that we were able to have what I thought was 3 great ceremonies. I talked a lot about the Early Childhood Center one at our last meeting, but I thought Lindbergh Elementary School and the junior senior high school ceremonies, although they were inside and they were somewhat sweaty, they were beautiful ceremonies. They really were. If nothing else, it really, in the event that we ever, or you ever, have the finances to have an HVAC, air-conditioned auditorium or gymnasium, or both, because our auditorium is air-conditioned, I don't know that you would want to go somewhere else. I think a lot of our students, our seniors especially, that morning when we talked to them, and we wanted to potentially go with the rain date, but knowing storms were in the forecast for the next day as well, I commend them. As young adults, they made a bold decision. They wanted to have it right then and there. They wanted to be done. So kudos to them. Thank you for everyone's help this year. To the custodial staff, obviously above and beyond with setting up down there, getting up here, and it's not an easy task. To our IT department, I got a call at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning when I had to call the county because they need to know what our decision is. It's not our facility. And telling the county first, and then someone telling IT before I did, I'm sure they weren't too pleased that they had a breakdown to set back up. But everyone does so in a very professional manner. I'm very grateful for everyone's efforts, and just wishing you and your families a great summer. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Mander, do you have any attorney reports?
Nothing to report.
Okay. So let's move to education. We have one consent agenda for approval. We have a motion to approve number 1 to approve resolution to the county, the comprehensive equity plan. It's a 3-year plan from 2025 to 2028. May I have a motion? May I have a motion? June?
Yeah.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstention?
I'll abstain.
Who abstain? Any other abstention, objection? Thank you. Next, the finance. We have a consent agenda for approval. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Any second? I say, who's that? Jim? Okay. Roll call, please. Our report. Suja? Yes.
6, just everything.
Number 6. Okay. Mr. Anthony Kim,
Abstain.
I'm sorry,
Abstain.
for all?
6, again, with, Louis.
Ms. Rebecca Lee,
Not here.
Ms. Soo-Kyung Park,
Yes.
Ms. Ho Young-yu,
Aye.
Mr. Park,
Yes.
Mr. Jun Lim,
Yes.
Mr. Sergio Gaya,
Yes.
so all items in finance, the motions pass. So next, the personnel. May I have a motion to approve items consent agenda for number 10 consent agenda for approval?
We are looking to table number 3.
Right, except number 3. So we are approving number 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Soo-Chung, yes. Mr. William Kim,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony Kim,
Yes.
Mrs. Soo-Kyung Park,
Yes.
Ms. Ho Young-yu,
All except number 10.
Mr. Aaron Park,
Yes.
Mr. Jun Lim,
Yes.
Mr. Sergio Gaya,
Yes.
so now we don't have any other committee reports, so let's make our meeting open to the public. We have a motion to close our regular session, we have a motion to open our meeting to the public.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Aaron,
Aaron?
I'm just keeping my notes.
But we don't have to record it.
Oh, we got a lot of recordings. I'm not doing the minutes.
I know, right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm taking my notes, okay, but. So all in favor? No opposition? So each participant in public speak 3 minutes and start with your name and address, please. Mr. Peter Longo?
Peter Longo, 60 Central Boulevard. Ms. Yu was referring to something on here, and I kind of agree with her. The $62,000 salary for a position, from my past knowledge, the previous, I guess I don't know if Alex is considered previous or he's still hired right now, but he used to do both jobs, and I'm sure he didn't, for that board secretary job, he didn't get 62,000. In the past, we had another person, she was just a board secretary. I don't think she receives that high of a salary for that. And before that, there was somebody else, a secretary from the elementary school, and I'm almost positive that they didn't receive such high salaries. And I'm really a little surprised by that. I know you said that there are things they need to be doing, we need somebody else, but I question it. I think it's quite high. And we're concerned about cutting back and everything else, and yet this person is getting that much. So I just wanted to, agree with you that I'm a little concerned about that. I thought in the beginning, I thought the way it was done this year, the business administrator as well as, was both the business administrator and he came to the board meetings and he was the board secretary. It kind of made sense because he knew what was going on. That's just from my observation.
Gentleman up there.
Hi, everybody. Anthony Rotundo. I've never seen a board that's going to have more work ahead of them than you guys have. You guys have seen a tremendous amount of turnover. I've been in this town my entire life. I've seen other boards come and go, other board members. Yeah, people leave. Teachers leave from time to time. Administrators leave from time to time, but you usually have somebody that moves up from one position to the next. You're hiring from a younger position to a new position. That's how we've kept our superintendents. That's how we've kept the administration at all of our schools. You've lost in almost the entire administration. You've lost teachers. I don't know how many meetings you're gonna have over the summer in order to fix that, but there's a couple of things that I'd also like to comment on. The fact that you had VP candidates within the school district that you decided to go outside, frankly, to me is disgusting. I'm sorry to say that to you guys, but I will say that to you freely. You need to give employees, I would feel the same way about my company if they hired from outside instead of promoting. And I would be freely saying that to them also. You need to give your employees the idea that there is the ability of moving up instead of hiring from out. There are many candidates within your schools that could have been a candidate for your VP at the high school, and you chose to pull from somewhere else. Secondly, in the entire history of this town, in all towns in the state of New Jersey, your BA, your business administrator, is your board secretary. And in a world in which you are cutting positions, I commend you for voting no on this. In a world in which you are cutting positions, there are students here today that are going to talk once again about you cutting the athletic director position, but yet you found the money somehow in which I can only guess that you threw a dart at a dartboard to figure out how much you're gonna pay them. You found money for a brand new position that has never existed, ever, in this town. So that I find pretty shocking. You should have listened to Miss Yu when she was talking about this. That is not a position that has existed. You gave money to somebody for some reason to do a position that was already being filled by your business administrator, okay? That's really all I have to say. I am extremely, when I saw that you were bringing in an outside candidate for a VP job, when I see that you're bringing in a brand new dollar amount for somebody that's there, and Joe, thank you very much. I don't know if you saw me nodding at you. To approve a position without having a salary is also very weird. I wouldn't even accept a job if they didn't tell me how much I was getting paid for. Okay, so I appreciate that. Joe, I'm gonna miss you because this is probably the last meeting that I'll see you at. I don't know how much longer you'll be around. That's really all I have to say with my 3 minutes. I hope it goes somewhere with you guys. Thank you.
Mary Pagoda to Glen Avenue. Going to number 10 on the agenda, I don't understand how you guys presented something to be approval, and it seemed to me like a lot of the board members don't have an idea of this page, that they don't know number 10 what was all the info about it. So I don't know why we're doing this, because it seemed to me like there's no information together, and who made that decision of that salary, and why we are doing it like that. Are we gonna go back to do it the way that we're supposed to be doing it better, or are we going back to the back time? Another thing, are we gonna have the athletic director in school for the next incoming year? That was no answer. I didn't know yet. I would like to know. I would like to know how is the hiring going. So many positions that is opening, something that is really concerning. I would like to know also what was the result for the student rapper, like representative, because it was 2 candidates and I haven't heard anything about it. I wanna know who was the person who's got more vote in that. And I really would like to
get more of the board member participating in those big decisions. And I would like to involve the teacher and the parent to get more answer what is going on, because so many changes, and the change is already made. But we have to get involved to make sure that we feel comfortable and that the position that is filling is with the right person. So I'm really concerned about the whole thing. I know you guys do it as an extra, but you guys run for the position, so if you run for some position, you gotta do the job. I know you guys don't get paid for this, but we expecting you guys to do it the right way. I'm gonna hope this is the right way, but it seemed to me like number 10, the majority of the board doesn't know. And when Dr. Cirillo cashed, that it was even no salary. So what are we doing? How are we gonna offer a job without no salary? It doesn't make sense to me. So it seemed to me very fishy, I don't know. Thank you.
Anieska Garcia, 272 3rd Street. I just want to echo what was already said as far as in the past 3 months, you've had at least 13 administrators and staff resigning. I'm concerned as to whether or not the board is taking notice and what action is being taken to stem the bleeding, because as a community and as a parent, we're concerned. Who are our kids going to meet in the fall? Because it seems like every day there is a new resignation, and it is extremely concerning. I'm also concerned about the hiring practices and respectfully whether or not decisions are being made ethically. I've said this before. There is one board that's comprised of many people. There's not one board member who has more authority than the other. And typically, hiring was done by the personnel committee and the superintendent, and exclusively within that. So I'm concerned as to how that's being addressed to make sure that the board is making these decisions ethically. And last but not least, I'm concerned, again, we've been making cuts. Why was the summer program for students who are struggling and have to attend summer school, why was that summer program shortened? So we seem to have funds for everything else. The priority should always be the students, and I don't understand how there wasn't enough funding to have a full summer program.
Also, we have to limit, well, I will give you a chance to speak, but to speak for, then just let me say, because we are anticipating long hours of our closed session tonight.
Can't do
So
that.
please,
You can't do that. You can't limit audience participation.
well, you can speak, but try not to just too long.
We were on
We have
3
3
minutes.
minutes. Everybody's under.
3 minutes.
So the board policy says that the board can,
Jesus
vote
Christ.
to shorten or limit, board member, public participation
Go ahead and do
if
it. I
it
did
wants to.
They can, but it's not a good look.
Like that
We already
matters.
have a lot of questions. We already have a lot of questions, so please, don't do that to us. That's not right.
on Sunday.
That's
And we're
ridiculous,
kicked out,
right?
so,
You really
yeah.
make people angry right now. Like, come, what else we need? No, not that. Thank God it's only one, more years.
Good evening, Ms. Hernandez. I want to thank Dr. Cirillo first, for the half answer that we got last meeting. We appreciate that the board is at least reviewing the Italian program with the possibility of happening again in the beginning of the new school year. And I also would like to wish the best to Dr. Cirillo, on his next journey. His work has been amazing on the board, and you've always tried your best and your hardest, so we wish you the best in your next adventure. Going back to the Italian program, we have a few doubts, which Vice President Sofia and Treasurer Young are going to mention briefly.
Sophia Legas, I'm an incoming senior. Good evening, everyone. As the President Brisa mentioned, there's a few doubts and questions that we've recently thought about. If the Italian program is back on the schedules and guidance in classes, how are kids going to be aware of this? Are you going to announce it? Are you going to post it? Because there are many 8th graders who are hoping to choose Italian for the schedules of this new school year, but it was not an option, so how is that going to work?
Hello, Johan. We would also like an answer as to why Italian 2 is not available for students next year. We have a lot of questions like, are they going to be forced into another 2 years of a different language they didn't choose? Is the first year they took meaningless now? And what are you gonna do to make it up to them, really?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel DeFeo from Princeton University, and I'm also the Vice President for AATI, which is the American Association of Teachers at a Time. So I just wanted to echo what these students said in thanking the board for reconsidering the time program. I think it's a question of options. I come from a university where we look at students in admissions and we look at what sets them apart. And with 3 languages in a high school, what you give a student the opportunity to have is something called not the seal of biliteracy, but a seal of triliteracy, which is that much rarer and gives students the opportunity to really stand out when it comes to the admissions process at the university. I do want to thank you once again because it is fundamental that options are there. Okay, this is a question of a time, but it's not only a question of a time, it's a question of giving the students the opportunities to choose what they feel benefits them the most and to explore the cultures that maybe they haven't had contact with. Because we know that exposure is what leads to growth, what leads to open-mindedness, and what leads to opportunities in the future. I do echo what the students said in just asking how students that will be coming from 8th grade will now choose Italian 1, being that the schedules, if I am correct, have already been given. So thank you for your time.
Morning, Andy, 414 Run Avenue, Palisades Park. I'd like to know if you did any background work to see if any other schools in Bergen County separate business administrator and board secretary. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the business administrator's salary may go up by $10,000 to act as the board secretary. We are gonna spend $62,000 and still have to pay a BA $100,000. We have 12 hours of summer school instead of 20, which was the norm. Yet, we can spend $62,000 on a job that is already covered by another job for $10,000. And I imagine that this person would get benefits, which that's another probably $50,000. I also would like to refer to code 18A 12-24.1, State of New Jersey. It's called the Code of Ethics for School Board Members. There are 10 items on here. I can't get past number 1 without feeling they've been violated. I don't know if you're all familiar with them. You all put your hand up and swore to do these. I could read them out loud, but that'll ruin my 3 minutes. Everyone can find it online at the State of New Jersey. Thank you.
Maria Alvarez, 534 4th Street. Ms. Tansey, just to add to what you said, the School Board Ethics Act. It is unethical and a conflict of interest for board members to hire friends or family. And the act goes on and on, but that's, I think, the most key in this matter. Also, Sunday, there was a meeting. We all showed up. It was advertised as a public meeting, and it was supposed to be just for you guys. So who advertised as a public meeting? That was never addressed because we weren't allowed to ask questions then.
Now, may I have a motion to close public participation?
I have one more question. For Sunday.
one person
I can
who
give
wants
it to her and she can say it for me, or you can.
Please. Just one person, please. For one.
Mrs. Alec, would you ask this question? The meeting on Sunday, the candidates were let through the back door while everybody else was in the front, so no one had an opportunity to see who was being interviewed. I don't find that quite transparent.
Yeah.
So the candidates were let in from one door and everyone else had to go out the other. What was the reason for that?
Is there any
questions? My name is Emily Ozuna. I live in Korean Boulevard. I just want to know the process of the superintendent thing because I've been watching the live videos and you haven't answered it fully. People have asked it twice already at past meetings and there's no question on it. And I think parents should be involved in it and also teachers and everyone else in the town, not just you guys.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion to close the public participation?
Motion closed.
I second. All in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Dr. Sira, do you have any answer for any of their questions?
I might have some comments. I don't know if they're gonna be satisfied with the answers, but it was William Kim, who's second? Anthony, was that you?
I think Mr. Youngba.
Who's second? So,
Mr. Sugyo?
Ms. Mark? Thank you. So I'm gonna just try to start at the top and work my way down. Peter, that's not my, arena. Anthony Rotundo, talked about a recommendation that I made, for a vice principal candidate at the junior senior high school. We had a committee, many people were considered. I firmly do believe, that this candidate stood out. I hope time will tell that that was a good choice. I think there was comment made by you about the athletic director. I think you meant the athletic trainer, as did Ms. Neris. The athletic trainer, for the record, I'll tell you loud and clear, took another opportunity in another school district. For whatever it's worth, I did make him an offer. I made him an offer that was better than what he had while he was with us. Okay, so I can't answer to why he left as to his future. Maybe this was a better opportunity. We are obviously in need of an athletic trainer. He was offered that position back in addition to another position. So I'm not gonna go into any further detail on that, but many conversations, multiple meetings were had, and the opportunity was provided for him to return to us. He decided he wanted to move on. I wish him the very best. As far as Neris, I think you also talked about the board secretary. As far as the student rep, I did just receive the, I guess the voting results. I'm going to share it with the board respectfully before I share it with the public because they don't even know yet. But that will, as our new board policy reflects, it is effective July 1 through June 30th. I have the information. I will share it again with the board, and hopefully starting in July, the new student rep will be with us. Ms. Garcia talked about the resignations. I can tell you wholeheartedly, I don't think I've worked as hard as I have over the last month or so, and I think I said that last week with regard to candidates. Even today, I received another resignation. These are not easy positions to fill. I can tell you this much: this is clearly uneasy. It's unsettling in a lot of ways that I want to ensure that we do have our quality staff, not just staff, but quality staff in our buildings in September. Searches are ongoing for any recommendations that are within my purview. As far as the summer program, we are at 15 days where we were at 20 days in the past. That is a fact. With that being said, again, I'm not going to blame anyone. I think we all know that many of our federally funded programs have been cut. We don't have that money anymore. A lot of our state money has been cut. We did receive a cut in state aid this year. With that being said, I'm going to defer any other comments on funding. The Italian program, I think, Johan, you asked about students who took a language and took a world language other than Italian, what's gonna happen. I think Dr. DeFeo explained it. There is great opportunity to further one's previous language with seals of biliteracy and triliteracy. with that being said, I can tell you wholeheartedly, and I think we do a disservice in the state of New Jersey with world language. I don't know if people realize this, but the high school graduation requirement is 5 credits. 5 credits, that's 1 year. I think any college, university employee would tell you that no one is at a proficient level of any world language, even if it's your native language at home after 1 year of schooling. So I know we make it mandatory that every student graduates with at least 2 years or 10 credits. And I know a lot of colleges and universities want 3+ years. So for the record, I think whether it's a world language outside of Italian or not, it's not credits that are wasted. It's an opportunity to learn something that maybe down the road in your career might be applicable. As far as incoming 8th graders, there will be communication once we establish who the new principal is. We just decided on a vice principal. I know Mr. Garcia is still employed with us. I've had many conversations with him, so he's involved in this process. We will be in touch with 8th grade students, mark my words, okay? Ms. Tanzi, those are not for me. Ms. Alvarez, that's not for me. Ms. Halleck, that is definitely not for me. And Ms. Ozuna, I don't think I ever called you Miss, former student. That one is not for me. Ms. Chung, it's back to you.
So advertisements.
Advertisements?
Yeah, someone
Which one?
asked about the advertisement on Sunday meeting.
Oh, okay, yep.
Right, so we all shared about that preview
Sure,
notice, right? The board has right things.
Yep, so someone wanted to know about the advertisement. The board secretary normally advertises every board meeting. We submit a preview of what we would like the publication to read. It's required by law. We saw something different than what might have been printed. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it went out notice, right?
Correct.
Did you?
What was sent to you from Alec?
That went out to actual physical.
That went out to the
Record.
Bergen Record for publication, yes.
What?
I did not see the newspaper. I don't know what was printed.
So anyone who came to our Sunday meeting accusing us that those language is not in the record, then could you?
I'm gonna actually find the email from Alec.
Right, because they
I
say
know
it
it's
was
our
not in the
participation, but it was
newspaper.
written as and shown in the agenda that it was an open public meeting, and I had addressed this during the meeting. You guys had an executive meeting. You do have to advertise that you're having an executive meeting. You didn't need to write it as an open meeting with an executive portion. Because an
No,
open
that's
meeting
not
says, everyone
correct.
come here, you're
Mr.
gonna have
Rotundo?
business, you know? So that's why we all came. So again,
It's
it's
open
not,
public
it's
meeting
not the
by the
idea
end.
that you advertise, because you
Mr.
have to
Rotundo,
do the
please.
sunshine law. It's
Mr. Rotundo,
the
this is not
wording.
public participation, it's over. Okay?
It's the wording. That's what I'm saying, okay? So that's
Mr.
what I'm trying
Rotundo.
to let you guys know, all right? We went over it on Sunday. And I think Maria's question was who approved that wording? Why was it posted like that? Just to clarify.
We posted the right way that we supposed to do. And all language stating that we will go to executive session. That was just only one line, and that's only one agenda in the meeting when it went out to post. For other things, someone asked, many people are asking about CSA, the superintendent hiring process, but we are following the right procedure, and we actually consider to hire the recruiting professional firm, which will cost a lot of money, but we are not there yet. So instead, a few board members are very working hard by researching and communicating with other board members in other towns and throughout the New Jersey. I meet many presidents. And so we benchmark some good parts, and then we want absolutely transparent in the scope of what we can open to public. And for example, someone is asking question why the candidates, applicants that we are interviewing on Sunday didn't use the front door, where, because that's what my best knowledge is, that each candidate is best not to meet each other meanwhile. That was just first round interview, and then we'll move on. There's the process that we plan to, but, excuse me. So we are not violating any, we are not trying to hide any, we're just trying to follow what's the best procedure by our research and communicating with other board members and other board presidents in other states, other municipality, other school district in New Jersey who has previous experience. And for secretary position, number 10, it's just because our personnel chair, Mr. Juni, mistakenly opted up that number 10 because it was updated last minute. It's not because it's a last minute decision, it's because our secretary updated at the last minute. And it was made, that motion was made, not motion, but we came up with that conclusion Sunday. Sunday we had a long meeting, and there are more than majority, actually, all full board member, 9 board member came to that meeting, and a few of them had to leave early. So I think we still remained 7 for there in the room to discuss about. And 7 of us all came up with the same conclusion after concrete discussion back and forth. And a few board members who have not really deeply involved or have not spent much time on our school business doesn't know. They don't know what kind of role, what kind of position, what kind of person the board needs to benefit our school district. So that's why all board members, when we have this kind of hiring process, interview things or any personnel matters to discuss, please try your best to participate. We already spent hours to discuss about this role, and we came up with a conclusion. And the board member who didn't spend the time or research or communication with us cannot just come up to the public meeting to accuse about this decision.
Oh, you're talking about me? Is that what's going on?
I'm not just talking about you. You would-
That's what it sounds like to me.
Sounds like that. Question, discussion.
No, because, excuse me, but we board members, we speak, we discuss, we communicate. And you can really determine what
Public
we're
comment
doing.
session is over. Meeting, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. If, no, we're not going back and forth. If this meeting is out of control, the board can simply just end it. So if you wanna hear the board's responses, I respectfully request you allow them to respond without the peanut gallery.
You are so terrible. You don't understand anything. No, he don't understand anything. He do not understand.
Can
He
I
don't
read
understand what we're going through.
Can I read the paid legal notice as it was submitted?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good segue to.
Sure.
Palisades Park Board of Education pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that a special meeting of the Palisades Park Board of Education is scheduled on Sunday, June 22nd, 2025, commencing at 12 p.m. The meeting will be held at the Early Childhood Center, 271st Street, Palisades Park, New Jersey. The agenda, to the extent currently known, includes executive session, 1, superintendent search, 2, board secretary search. Formal action may be taken. Alexander Kondowski, Business Administrator. That's what was sent to the record. I don't know what was printed.
I don't know, I didn't see the record, but I just get the receipt and then language from Mr. Kondowski.
I mean, I can speak correct. I mean, if you think that consulting me in that matter
No, I'm
It's
not
gonna
insulting
go-
you, Ms. Ford, but I'm just asking.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
Ms. Ford, this is the first time you have back and forth my conversation with us.
No, don't
It-
take
it's,
me out.
we can
You
talk
don't
in
live
closed
here. That
session.
lawyer doesn't live here, I know what's going on. Like, I'm not coming here when all this show is going on and I'm suffering from all this stupidity.
So this is a board decision, you know, if you have, some people are not happy, and I know there's rumors there out there, I heard that the people are making false news against us, and there's news that we are hiding friends and family, it's not true. If you're asking it, do you think that's my friend? It's all about me, that you guys been doing? Make things up against just one or a person or single up from the board members. I heard that one of those are like running an election, one of those are applying for jobs. There are so many rumors. But no matter what, if there's false accusation or dishonest like planning or any bad news which is not true against the board, then we're not accepting. There will be zero tolerance to the false accusation and false information against this public body. So yeah, again, this is number 10. It was the decision was made by at least 7 board members discussion at the meeting, and it's not last minute thing. And I believe we are doing right. We are taking, I research a lot to transparency as possible. We have to keep sometimes things confidential because of personal matters. And there's some ethical issue as well to open things to public. So I check. So I'm just asking you to respect our decision, to protect the board, to protect the public, in compliance with any policy and rules too. Is there any board member who would like to talk?
My question wasn't answered about if there were, how many other schools have a separate board secretary that is not part of the business administrative job for additional $10,000, not $60,000? How many other schools?
We came
do you
up
know
with,
that?
we got the office, superintendent, the office employees organization chart. We calculate, we will go, it's a halfway, but we are looking for, we actually, we are in knowledge of all the employees, their position, their salary, and we're projecting it for next year. And there will be not much such a burden. And we came up with the conclusion that by hiring the secretary will make a significant benefits to our school district and board work.
In what way?
That was the specific job things we're not going to discuss in public meeting.
Because there's a rule that goes back to 1991 about regular business. And you
It's
need to
not-
have a SBA versus not. So that has to be in the job description, that person would need SBA if they were to do regular business function. Goes back to September.
Many district
1991.
does, but not all, in my research.
Because this is our money, and we should know how it's spent.
When 3 years ago, when Mr. Kondowski was hired, at the time there's a issue, right? But we are not going to say. It's not about him, but about the positions. But you just came up with the question just because it's us.
What? This is not about you.
No,
Can we not have the back and forth? This is not a Q&A.
Business.
She's making it.
Let's just stop, please.
When you don't like the answer, then you say
Exactly,
stop.
thank you.
Nobody's screaming here.
No, come on.
don't need to answer all questions.
That's fine, don't say you're not gonna answer, don't say you're not.
There are matters that we can talk in public meetings. But what I can do is we believe we are doing right way.
I know you believe that. But it's a lot of money being spent that could be well used to run summer school.
Have you requested those?
We gotta stop.
Yeah.
Like, this is embarrassing.
It is.
Yes, there's-
For you guys, yes.
Exactly, for you guys. Yeah. May I have a motion to go into the executive session? I make a motion.
For the purpose, for
For the
discuss issues of
purposes-
personnel, and, it's not, right, do you expect to take action afterwards? I don't think so.
We may or may not, so we don't know yet, but.
Action may be taken afterwards.
So I'd like to make a motion to move on to our executive session due to personnel matters discussion.
Motion.
I actually made the motion, so you want a second? All in favor? No objection? Are we moving on or are we just ask?
You guys staying, or we
We
going?
don't know when we